gonna need a bigger boat. Floods down south, fires out west. Turn on the news, get scared to death. Give me a hammer, somebody hold my coat. We're gonna need a bigger boat.
On my way to start the Outback Trail. Super excited. It's like 70 miles of this OC&E State Park near Klamath Falls. Finally starting the Oregon Outback. Super excited. So I'm about 8, 9, maybe 10 miles into the trail. I didn't video it because I was getting pretty frustrated, but the first mile, literally mile 1, I got 2 flat tires. Excuse me. So I brought 4 spares and I used 2 of them in mile 1. Found a couple thorns and a chunk of glass in the tire. And then bike shops are closed on Sundays, so I rode over to Big 5 and they fortunately had some spares but no CO2, so I bought one of those cheap cheesy little hand pumps that hopefully will get me by. But finally off and really enjoying it. I'm off the pave now and onto this single track, or not single track but dirt track, the old OC&E railroad line. Feeling good finally now that out of Klamath Falls, out in the country, in the pastures, communing with cows. It's nice. Well, here we go. Got ourselves a traffic jam. Excuse me, cows. 211, 104, 32, 29. This way you come across lots of more gates. Lots of gates. He left. So I started at 1. I've gone about almost 40 miles, but I needed to do 60 to stay on time and get to the first camping spot, which has water. So I'm still 20 miles away. It's 6:30 and I just got another flat. But at least it's pretty scenery, I guess. That's kind of nice. Not so nice. This is pretty much what I've been riding through lately. Other side of this fence. Every mile it seems like there's a gate you have to go through. But basically riding through herds and herds of cows, riding through their cow shit, dry and fresh. And you come to a gate like this one, and then you keep going. I'm worried now because I only have 1 inner tube and a patch kit. And I'm still 12 miles away from my first campsite. Well, it's 11:30 and I just now laid down into my sleeping bag. 6 flats, the last of which it was dark, so I walked the bicycle like about 1.5 miles to this camping area that's on the map, and in the pitch black dark, because there's no moon, so just using the headlight that was dying. And then got camp set up, barely. All my crap is just kind of thrown over there. The corner, I'll deal with that in the morning. Having dinner, which is a Snickers bar and some Bandit wine, which just never tasted so good. Good morning. So after a night's sleep, feeling a lot better. Organized all my equipment, and I've been spending the last 45 minutes patching all my inner tubes. I had 6 flats yesterday, but the first 2 I disposed of in town, so I only have 4 inner tubes. I've got 3 done, and I still have this last one to do. Day 2 is going a lot better. Pedaled probably about 5 miles on that railroad trail. It's horrible, but I didn't get a flat. Now I'm on some pavement and feeling a lot better. Once I arrived in Silver Lake, I ran into 4 other cyclists, young guys, that were on their way through the Oregon Outback as well. So after chatting with them for a bit, I decided to tag along with them for the rest of the 12 miles to Fort Rock. Yesterday ended so awesome. I hooked up with some other cyclists and we ended up riding to Fort Rock, where we had a couple beers, some burgers. Now I just left them early. They're a bunch of young guys. They'll catch up with me at some point. Day 3, off to a good start. That's Fort Rock, Cabin Lake Road, on my way north. All right, day 3 observations. I'm about an hour in. I'm probably doing 5 miles an hour on average. Just as usual, there's a headwind, but today it's especially strong. No matter which way I turn as we wind through the desert, it's always a headwind. And one of the observations I was making to myself as I'm pedaling along is that I used to live in Bend for like 12 years almost, and I'd spent a lot of time driving out here in the desert, exploring all these back roads, years of it. And while cycle touring through the desert is really cool and it has its rewards, there's something I like about having a cooler with me full of ice cold beer. And yeah, that was my observation for this morning. Anyway, it is very beautiful. And then that's Fort Rock. Still on day 3. I'm about 12 miles from Highway 20 and it's starting to bonk. So we got some refried beans, some green chilies. There's some tapatio in there somewhere. Time to refuel. Man, I need to shave. Well, I didn't spend much time videoing towards the last of the ride. It was pretty much miserable. Coming down the 27 road from Highway 20, I dropped down to the bottom, ended up doing this 3-mile climb out into a headwind, and eventually caught the road down into the reservoir and then the headwaters of the lower Crooked River. Once that happened, like, it was good again. Like, my attitude is much better. It's just brutal. Like, it's hard work riding a bicycle on nothing but washboarded gravel roads. I mean, it sounds like I'm complaining a lot, but I do love it, and it's really rewarding at the end of the day. But the stark contrast of sound and movement constantly for 8 to 10 hours a day for the last 3 days, the bike vibrating, the wind blowing in your face because it seems to always be coming at you, and then the tires going over the gravel, and then in the desert there's a lot of soft sand, and so you get your wheels wash out really easy. So you're constantly just going like maybe 5 to 8 miles an hour. But it's all good though. I made it to the Crooked River. I'm at Big Bend, just below Bowman Dam on the Prineville Reservoir. It's kind of nice. My daughter Sinead and her kids and maybe her husband are coming out tomorrow to visit me here. So I'm gonna have a 0 day, meaning 0 miles. I'm just gonna kick it here. And here's the tent site. I'm in the walk-in site. Here's the bike, the tent. It's cozy, very cozy. I got water coming on the boil because I'm gonna make for the first time this trip, a mountain house. And as usual, a little vino. Still using the same Bandit box. It's so beat up, I'm surprised it doesn't leak because you're constantly vibrating. My peanut butter leaked out. I had peanut butter this morning all over my pannier bag, one of them, where I keep the peanut butter. Freaking dummy, I should have put it in a plastic bag, so it is now. But yeah, maybe in a little bit after I eat, I'll go for a walk and video some of the river. I used to fish here quite a bit when I lived in Bend. It's beautiful. All right, out. It's moments like these that make these difficult or demanding trips worth it. This is such a pretty canyon. Bummer thing was, at this point, after leaving the Crooked River, having a great 0 day with my daughter and her 2 kids, my phone and the battery used to charge it were both dead. So I made it to Prineville, where I had a great breakfast, tried to recharge a little bit, but just didn't have enough time and juice there. So I ended up with dead accessories. Eventually made it to Hood River, and then from there it was Seattle. And so then I think I'll end the video with a couple little shots from Solstice Festival there